5 seconds, take a breath, and then we'll start.
Ain't none of that lame. If you can't hang, we don't bang.
Did I wake you up? I'm so sorry. Welcome back to the F.L.O.E podcast, where we just have a friendly chat with future leaders of excellence. I'm Sham, and this is Adric.
Know the vibes, man.
And we're your hosts for this episode and many more to come. Now, let's welcome our guest for today, Ronaldo.
What's up, y'all?
We're going to be talking about the struggles of first-gen students and how the process might be for those who are first-gen themselves and can't seem to seek the help through their parents or just general tips of how to take care of the whole college process. So let's get right into it. And just to, like a starter question to get you comfortable, if you could have tea with one fictional character, anyone, who would it be?
One fictional character?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I'd have to think about it for a second. You said a fictional character, so it's almost
Anything. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Could be from a cartoon, from any book.
I don't know if you guys ever read this book, Percy Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have tea with Percy Jackson himself.
Really?
Why?
Just because he's a cool dude. He had dyslexia. I'm pretty sure he had dyslexia.
Mm-hmm.
No, and ADHD. He had dyslexia and ADHD. And he went to go ahead and fought some hard battles and stuff like that. So just have a tea, ask him how's the Greek life going for him and stuff. I'm not talking about frats.
Yeah. So do you consider Camp Half-Blood as a frat then?
Camp Half-Blood? I think it is a frat. I think it's a frat and a sorority combined together because it's Greek life in a way, in that sense.
Interesting. Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, no, I see it though. Now that I think about it, it's each of the different houses of the gods, right?
Mm-hmm.
Each demigods living in those houses, they act pretty much like frats and sororities, right?
Yeah.
So if you think the house of Hermes, right?
Yeah.
They get drunk and all that, so I can see the connection there,
Mm-hmm.
So if you were to have tea with him though, would you ask him anything related to his powers, or maybe if there's a way you could rub off on some of them?
Yeah, so I'm gonna ask him if he can pass some powers on to me or talk to Poseidon himself. If he can give me some water bending powers, you know what I mean?
There we go.
I think it's pretty cool. I think I'll ask him how do you know you have powers? Because I think I have powers, but I don't know. How do you know? What feeling do you have in order to have powers?
Wait, you said you think you have powers?
I might.
So what power do you have? You talking about in real, right now?
In real life, right now, I don't.
Oh, so what are your powers?
I don't know, but I feel I have this mind connection where I can read someone's mind. Not exactly their thought, but I can tell what they're thinking about before they even say it.
All right. We're here today, all right? So we're going to test this out.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So what am I thinking about right now?
You're thinking about how crazy I sound right now, talking about some powers.
That's one. I feel that's one.
Yeah.
But that's random though. Anybody gonna think that just because you said you feel like you got powers right now, and we know. I mean, we don't know, but we kind of got an idea that you kind of a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Now, a realistic thought though, because anybody gonna think that.
Okay.
So what am I thinking about right now?
I mean, shouldn't you be helping him a little? Maybe a little numbers game, or I'm thinking about a number. What number? Maybe.
All right, we can do that then. All right,
Okay.
I'm thinking about a number. What number am I thinking
7.
about?
No.
You said that too fast. You didn't even put no thought into that.
No, because I know it's we have a connection immediately.
But I wasn't thinking about 7. I was thinking about 2. See, look, folks. Now we know that Ronaldo has no powers.
I have
at
no
all.
powers.
We tested that theory.
Well, let's put it down to the fact that you did say you have to have a connection with that person, right? And didn't you two just meet theoretically?
Yeah,
Theoretically.
So
yeah, theoretically, yeah.
so if we could bring anyone in here that you have connection with, think you could do it?
I think so. I think so. If you could bring like a childhood friend back, I think I could
But
have a little
do
connection
you
with them.
do you call that a power or that's just something that they told you that you just remember? Because especially if you do like a number or something, I
Right.
feel like
Mhm.
if you have a childhood friend, then probably y'all discuss numbers, or that's just a number that they know you wear a lot, or that's a number that they know you're gonna pick a lot. So is
Mhm.
that really a power, or is that just you're a good listener and you just can comprehend and kind of go back in time and think about what somebody told you?
I think I'm just a good listener actually now. I,
Well, we're gonna call it a superpower just for
No.
yeah, we're
today.
gonna call it
Yeah.
superpower.
He might have powers. You never know. We'll get you back here on another episode and actually test that out. But I mean, speaking about, since we're on the topic of childhood friends, um, tell us a bit about yourself. I mean, your background. How'd you grow
Okay.
up?
So my parents are from Guatemala. We came over here when I was a little kid. I live in the Eastern Shore of Virginia. I don't think anyone knows where that's at. It's still part of Virginia, just
Mhm.
no one knows where it's at.
You
This is a
know,
little peninsula, like on top of Virginia Beach. Take a little tunnel. It's over there. I grew up there most of my life. It's mainly a Hispanic community for the most part, but like there's a good amount of diversity over there. I grew up going to the same school. I moved around a lot, but I was stuck with the same school and stuff. And I just decided to come here recently. I graduated.
I mean, I don't really know. Like, I know about the Eastern Shore and like kind of like know how to get to it, but you said you've moved around a lot.
Yeah.
Like while being in the Eastern Shore,
While being in the Eastern Shore, yeah.
is it like how many schools is it over there? Like, if you could take a guess, a little bit, or a quick
Oh,
guess.
I know how many schools there are.
Oh,
So
never mind.
there's 4 high schools in the whole Eastern Shore.
Really?
That's it. We don't have many. We're not a big populated town. It's mostly just farm life. So you
Mm.
can see a lot of chicken houses, a lot of like corn fields and stuff like that. So there's only 4 high schools, and none of them are over 1,000 capacity. So we have a really small community over there.
Mm.
Wow.
And so you moving around a lot, since it's all just small communities, was there like differences between from one place to another place that you moved from, or were they all like generally the same?
There's a pretty big difference in the communities because although we're a big community, the Eastern Shore, there's sub communities where
Mhm.
they have like these certain type of like values and beliefs where they believe they're like a higher class in this other community and stuff. So
Right.
I also saw like the high class and also the low class and middle class. So it just depends on where you move at, honestly.
Gotcha. How were the high schools?
I couldn't listen to it. I couldn't listen.
Oh.
All right, we apologize for the
We
interruption.
apologize.
Our
Inside
cameraman
joke.
is snoring back there. Let's give you a little quick. Actually, we're gonna mess with the cameras, but
Yeah, we-
cameraman snoring back there, but
Cameraman.
we'll be all right.
First day of the job, you already failing.
But all right, so in terms of high schools, since it is a very close knit community, did you feel like you had support in those high schools? Where was it very, like, were they oriented towards the students and helping them try and achieve?
Honestly, the high schools weren't like really preparing students for excellence after,
Mhm.
like in college and stuff like that. I think I had like one guidance counselor that really cared about me personally, more as a friend than anything. But for the most part, they didn't really prepare people for like really good colleges like William Mary and
Mhm.
really prestigious. So it took me a while to get accommodated to like this life and the like how hard academic wise it is and stuff.
Right.
But we can always change that. But honestly, the high schools over there are a lot lower. Like we don't have enough funds because we are a small community. So the government really doesn't help us out a lot. So there's no SAT test prepping or anything like that.
Mhm.
Nothing that you can really do besides go to classes. We do have dual enrollment,
Mhm.
but it's nothing crazy like the community college there. Um, it's pretty pretty easy on you and stuff. So although you do have dual enrollments, they really did not prepare you for like William Mary.
Interesting. So in that case, then, what do you think you did like differently in order to help you get into William Mary? I mean, especially like if you didn't have SATs, was there something else that you did to
Yeah.
substitute for that?
Yeah. Just have like I think that's what I did differently than other people at my town and my community is have the mindset that I can get out of this. You know, some people try to accept it and accept who they are and say, hey, like, I I raised here, I grew up here. This is who I am. This is who I'm gonna be. Now I'm gonna stay here. But I always thought like I'm gonna move out of here and I'm gonna try to do something better and go seek higher education because higher education over there is like really important. Well, it's like there's not many students that get higher education. Like whenever I got into college, like William Mary, like the whole school would hear about it and it would be on the announcements. It'd be like, "Congratulations to Ronaldo Lopez for getting into William Mary." So every time someone got into college, it was a big deal. And I don't think that's the case for other schools like in Nova or something like. Everyone goes to college. It's like another step. But for us, it's like if you go to college, you're a big deal. You know, everyone like calls you smart and like says this like good luck and stuff. So just have the mindset of like being different and being bold and knowing that although everyone around you says, "Hey, you don't need to go to college. You don't need to do this." Just like tell yourself, like college is a good step, and if you have the opportunity, take it no matter what.
Um, a little bit of like, I know you said like some high schools may not do it, but I mean, I went to school in Virginia Beach, and I shout out to Green Run Collegiate, but whenever we kind of, I mean, it was kind of like an expectation that most of the kids graduate, most of them like go to college and stuff like that,
Yeah.
but at the same time, you know, did we still get the same amount of praise like from like the administrators or the other students like during the assembly or something they shout out kids who got accepted into the colleges or we get praised by the number of acceptances we got in. So I mean it's still a little bit different. I would say like I can relate to your situation where it's
Yeah.
like you'll probably get a lot of praise because it's like small income, but that's like also part of like growing in I want to say a low income household,
Yeah.
but at the same time like growing up in a community where especially being a person of color, you
Yeah.
probably wouldn't see somebody going to a school like William Mary or just go to the next step in education, which is college. So,
Yeah.
I mean, the same thing.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I think being a person of color really like adds on to it because like there's a lot of community of Hispanics. Like just like me, we
Mm-hmm.
graduated together, but instead of them going to college, they had to start working for the family and stuff. So every time they'd run into me, they'd be like, "Yo, like you did really well. I wish I could be like you." And I always tell them like, "You can. Like there's nothing that's stopping you to like go to college or to pursue higher education." But they always have like this mind block saying like, "Hey, like I can't do this," even though I did it. And so I think it's just like it's a lot of pressure too at the same time because they all look at you and they think you're doing well in school. Like, oh, he goes to William Mary, like he's doing well. His classes are going well. He's gonna be successful in life. Like they already have this whole plan out for you, and if you don't achieve it, then they're gonna like ask what went wrong and what moment.
But why is that though? Because I get that a lot too. Like, just because we go to a school like William Mary and like they kind of like see William Mary as like this like educate like great educational school,
Yeah.
which it is, but at the same time it's like like the first picture that they paint on you is, oh, you very smart, or
Yeah.
which is not wrong, but at the same time they already put you in like that high
Yeah.
pedestal because you go to a school like William Mary. But why do you think it's like that though?
I think it's because um, they were raised in a certain mindset to believe that um, higher education is only for this certain class of people, that it's not for everyone. So being raised that way, and then you see like one of your friends go, they automatically think, oh, he's like a higher class, which isn't the case for the most part. It's just you decided to take a different path, and so it's also like parenting and just the community. If like you surround yourself with people that say college isn't for me, I'd rather work, then when one of your friends goes to college, you think, oh, they're like a different class now. You know what I mean? But in reality, we're all part of the same community, and we can all go. And it's like a good step to go to college. I think everyone should try to pursue higher education if they can, or just try to like take a bigger step in life. Not like not like stay comfort. Get out of your comfort zone sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So, but,
Actually, I was just going to mention on the topic because you said it really well in terms of how parents themselves can actually hinder their own children in
Yeah.
either taking that next step.
mhm.
So I guess my question is, I mean, me coming from an immigrant family too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always like that. Especially, if you come from another country to the U.S., it's
Yeah.
it's always this mindset of, okay, do better, but you also need to like keep it calm, or
Yeah.
So how would you recommend, or what's your advice to those people who get things from their parents like that? How can they avoid
Falling into it.
falling into that trap, sort of?
I think just always go with your gut, go with your mind. If you have this feeling in your gut that you want to go to college or you want to do this, just go for it. Like my parents, even today when I tell them like, oh, this midterm didn't go that well, they're like, oh, well, you don't have to go to college. You can just come back home. But I always tell them no, like this is what I want to do. This is the path I chose. Like instead of telling me don't go to college, tell me keep it going, go stronger, go harder. So no matter like who is around you, even your own parents, like they don't know the struggle of college because they've never been. So you also got to be like understanding that they don't understand what's going on reality. So just like you know what you're doing, you know what you can do, you know the potential you have. So like always believe in yourself no matter what, and understand that you're unique in a way that you can go.
Do you see like your parents or just parents in general telling like their child like, oh, you can always come home or something like that? Do you see that as negative or you see that as positive?
I don't know if I call it negative or positive. I think it's just like their mindset. But for me, it's like a negative thing because they encourage me to go back to this certain life where I have to work every day, wake up really early. Um, so I think it's more of a negative thing. Instead of telling me like I have to put the pressure on myself to keep it going. There's no one pressuring me, but I have like this internalized pressure that I have to like do this certain type of way to like carry my family out of the low income into like higher income. So I think parents should be supportive and try to understand a little bit more. And it's also our job to like educate them and let them know that this is possible for anyone around them.
Honestly, like even now, think about it. I mean, that's just hard sometimes for parents to
Yeah.
even like conceptualize what's going on in
Yeah.
college. But I mean, especially if they haven't heard of what a midterm is, right?
Yeah.
Or what's on a midterm.
Yeah.
Like we've
It's kind
got,
of crazy.
yeah.
It's crazy because like um their lives was a lot different than our lives. Like as immigrants, like I went to Guatemala and I got to experience like how they lived, and I got to they have the bare minimum. They have like a nice little mud house and like one room, 8 beds laid out, and the kitchen is just a stove. That's all they had. Every day they'd wake up, um, walk 2 3 miles just to get uh, $7 a day, which is well our currency is called quetzales, which is 50 quetzales a day. That's the average for anyone who works 12 hours. That's $7 here. So imagine like getting $7 a day, and that's all. And they're happy with their $7 a day. They try to make the best out of it. So imagine like you make $7 a day, you're living in this place, and all of a sudden your child is at college like struggling with midterms. Like it's a big difference of like levels and stuff. So like them not understanding is also like reasonable because it's crazy. Like I guess they could never imagine like how it is because like they live to survive for the most part.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hmm. Do you think they ever like do they ever remind you of, okay, this is how I grew up, right?
Yeah.
And you're complaining about
Yes.
the homework.
Yeah.
Is there any issues?
There's always a yeah. I think especially in high school. I mean, not as much as in college, but like when I was in high school, and I would be struggling with like these college classes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They always be like, "Well, this is all you got." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when I was your age, I was working and I was doing this. I was trying to carry the family. But you're only in high school, and like it's all you have to worry about. So if you're not doing well, then that's on you because this is literally all you do is schoolwork. Like this is your one purpose. So I think there's always like a reminder, like kind of like it's not their fault that they're doing this, but like it's a natural thing to where like they try to guilt trip you into saying like, hey, like I struggled as a kid and I gave you this opportunity to do better. And when like us like childhood immigrants like aren't doing better, we're not doing too well. Then it's like a guilt trip saying like, hey, like this is all I have. Like imagine if I was still in Guatemala, picking up like beans for $7 a day. So it is like a reminder, constant reminder that they didn't have the opportunity I did. So it gives me the pressure, like added pressure of doing better in school.
Mm. No, it's quite a problem now, especially with immigrant households, because even this internal pressure that we all
Yeah.
bring up in ourselves, it's sometimes it's not even needed, right? But other times it's a great motivator if you want to be successful in the end.
Yeah.
And so let's let's turn this around and like, since you were talking a lot about opportunity, so how did you manage to, or not manage, or how did you find the opportunity to come to a school like William and Mary? What were you looking for?
Mm, that's a good question. I have one of my friends that's here. He's also first generation. He's gone through the same things I did,
Mm-hmm.
and what he did that like really inspired me. Shout out Brian Forrest. Um, he like reached out to guidance counselor, the same guidance counselor that he told me to reach out to. So like reaching out, like always, there's people out there that want to see you do good. As long as you just reach out, like especially here in college, like you still have to reach out to like office hours, professors, anything, tutors, writing centers. So just reaching out, I think that's the best way to try to make connections and stuff.
No, yeah, that's here to that, because a lot of people say that too. Actually, did you ever have this like sort of fear of actually trying to get in touch with the professor,
Oh
even the
yeah, most
counselor?
definitely, most definitely. It's always this fear of like as if you're bothering them because as a kid growing up you don't reach out to anyone, you just figure it out on your own. So when you
Right.
finally have to reach out to someone, you have this fear of like not being wanted or not being like just being like a burden on someone,
Mm-hmm.
like a burden. And so like whenever you reach out it's like a big deal. Like I know, like I still remember the time I reached out to my guidance counselor telling her I wanted to go to college. It was a big deal and I was getting nervous. I knocked on the door, I opened it, and like I was breathing heavily, I was kind of shaking. And as soon as like I told her and she was like welcoming into it,
Mm-hmm.
that's when I settled down and I was like, okay, like reaching out is good. Reaching out can get you somewhere. All you have to do is like let go of that
Internal fear.
let go of that mental fear and just know like people are out there that want to do.
Mm-hmm. Every time I walk up to somebody, it's like my legs turn to jelly.
Yeah.
It's like, I need help with, and
Yeah. No, it's always like it's so scary to reach out. Even today, like I'm still struggling. Like even here at college, I'm struggling to go to office hours
All
and
the
say,
time.
hey, I don't understand what's going on.
right.
And it's sometimes you do it a little too late. You email a little too late, and
Mm-hmm.
just only a little bit that they can do to help out.
Right.
For the most part, it's a scary feeling.
It really is because I kind of see it as too, like, coming from high school, just being in like elementary or just coming up before you get to college is like, even when we're struggling a little bit, you're constantly like talking to a teacher at all times though. So it's kind of like they're handing out help to you
Yeah,
instead of like you taking initiative and kind of reaching out, which is a hard adjustment because when you so used to somebody always coming in and helping you out, just like without you asking, or if they just notice that you're struggling a little bit, when in college they don't even take attendance. So
hmm
Right.
unless you really take that initiative to say, you know what, I'm gonna reach out to somebody, I'm gonna talk to my professor, then you just won't get the help. So it's hard because at the same time, it's like you just in the corner by yourself, and you probably really is struggling. But at the same time, is that internal fear that you probably feel like I just need to do this on my own, or I'm bothering the teacher.
yeah,
When in reality, are we really bothering the teacher? Because what are they here for? What are they
yeah,
getting paid for? If we're not asking.
exactly. No, yeah,
But I do get what you're saying though, because to this day, I struggle with asking
it's
for help.
yeah, it's hard. It's
Mm-hmm.
hard, especially like just there's like so many opportunities here at William Mary too where you can do well just by reaching out. But it's just a mental block. Even like your peer advisors, like they're there to help you out.
Right.
But I just set my appointment up, like last minute. Like I have my appointment tomorrow, and I just set it up today,
Mm.
because you know, it's just the fear of reaching out no matter what.
Outside of fear, do you think it's prior to like your ego, kind of saying like you
It's
can
also ego, yeah,
I can do
because
this on my own type
hmm
of feeling?
yeah, it's also like part of the ego because you were raised to do it on your own. So you always have this mental thing like, oh, like I'll figure it out. or if I don't figure it out, eventually I will. You know, this like it's it's also part of you, like your ego, and saying, as a kid, like I struggled learning English. I never reached out. I was like, I'll figure it out eventually. I did, but it's always like I figure it out. I figure it out. But sometimes you need someone to tell you like, hey, like you can't do this on your own. You gotta like let me help you and stuff. So it's also like this how you were raised to figure stuff out on your own.
And I feel like figuring out on your own though is kind of like you get that sense of accomplishment.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
I
you
did
feel
this.
good.
Yeah,
You feel good.
feel great about it. But at the same time, it's like at the same time it's like we need it. Like
Yeah.
we sometimes we just need help. Like my mentor, shout out to Rio, he kind of put us in perspective when it was like going to the gym. Like say if you like when you live by yourself, is but so much that you can live by
Yeah.
yourself without really needing a spot or something like that. So say it is a day where you want to max out. If you want to max, you probably need somebody to spot you to pick it back up for you, at least to be there to guide you or help you, push
Yeah.
you, to motivate you to get back up. So that's just like with life too, or just like when you're struggling with something. Treat that as if like you want to max out or you want to get to the even higher than what you kind of already know where you can get at. Ask for help or just having that support system behind you. That's the way
Makes a
where you
big
can help.
Yeah. Yeah, that gym reference is really good because you know when you're at the gym by yourself, you know like what weight you can lift up,
Mm-hmm.
and that's your maximum. You're not gonna lift any more weight after that. But as soon as you have someone that could be there for you and watch you, you challenge yourself. You be like, I can do this, lift even more weight. But you will never know you could lift that weight
Yeah.
until you have someone there.
Um, what does your support system look like, as far as like right now?
At the moment, I have a really great support system. I think I managed to I managed to make a lot of friends here at college that also went through the same things that I went through,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll bring me up whenever I'm down, and they'll let me know that this is my own path. I can't compare myself to other students here because these other students were like well trained and prepared to succeed no matter what. So I think the support system is great here. I have friends. Shout out Jack, Brian, Vicente, anyone else. Um, they're great people. They always looked out for me. They look out for me, and they're all a little older. They're sophomores and juniors, so they're like mentors to me.
Yeah.
That like are like natural mentors, and also the professors here are really kind. If you just reach out, you email them, you talk to them in office hours, they're always helpful to you and stuff. So the support system is great. Back home, my family is always supporting me, saying like, "You got it," but also at the same time, you know, they don't really know.
Yeah.
And just my friends, I have a couple friends that are potential William Mary students,
Mm-hmm.
so they always supporting me and saying like, "Hey, like you're doing well. Like I want to be there in your place," and stuff like that. So the support system is really good at the moment. I feel good.
So for the support system that you got here, what are the things that you did to kind of like get to the point where you feel like you can rely on them a lot? Like did they come to you or did you go to them or did it kind of just fall into place as
Mm.
time went on?
Yeah. It all happened through the Latin American Student Union, which is the club here. We call it LASU. Um, I think joining clubs is a big deal too because you realize like how many people are like going through the same situation as you. So shout out to LASU for giving me the opportunity to meet these people. Um, it was a natural thing, you know. You have the social event, you go talk to people, and you realize that um, they're pretty cool. They're pretty cool people, and then you start to get to know them a little bit, and eventually you start to like ask questions about their background and what they went through, and you realize you have a connection, and from there you just start studying together. They tell you like you can help each other out. The things they don't know, you might know, and stuff like that. So it's like creating a strong bond between each other, and yeah, it's like I'm sure you guys through clubs met a lot of good people. Like you guys both posse scholars. Like you guys have a good community there that does well.
Yeah, no, I mean, community is everything. And a lot of, I mean, freshmen coming in, they don't really think about joining clubs. I mean, they might, but it's like probably like a sports club or something, right?
Yeah.
And even then, I mean, you'll meet a few friends, but aside from that, it's like groups like LASU or Policy Scholars or, I mean, any other like sort of like ethnic groups too. I mean,
Yeah.
that's where you meet a lot of people who have been through the same things and they can also help you and you can help them, like you mentioned. So, but in terms of like just finding these groups, I mean, did you look somewhere or did you ask someone? Or is it also, again, like you're asking around, right?
Yeah, it was more asking around. I got into lawsuit because of my friend, but I asked my friend beforehand before committing here to William Mary. I asked him like, what type of support groups do they have, or like, what can I do in order to like have a successful college life?
Mm-hmm.
And he sent me to the group chat. He added me. If I'm there, um, whenever we would have meetings, I would reach out to them. Like I would go up to them and ask them like, hey, like what major are you like? And I remember this one question I would always ask in the beginning, like the first semester, to like upperclassmen. I would always ask them like, how do you prepare yourself for success here at William Mary? Like,
Mm-hmm.
what do you do that helps you do well? And they would always like give me some type of advice, like either make a good Google Calendar, or reach out to professors, go to office hours, something like that.
Right.
So, yeah, approach them because they are here. They've been here. You know, we're all freshmen. They've been here. You know, for 2 3 years, so they know how William Mary is like. So they know the struggle that we went through. They went through it already. So obviously they had to pick up some advice from other people, from other college students, and that helps us out at the end, at the
Yeah,
long run.
definitely, definitely. In terms of actually, like, I know many first gen students, I mean, we're just going back to the basics here. I mean, personally, when I thought about applying for college, and I'm pretty sure the three of us probably did too,
Yeah.
is FAFSA, affording college,
Mm-hmm.
actually applying, essays,
Mm-hmm.
everything there. So,
Yeah.
what was your experience going through that? And do you have any tips now that you would give back to yourself a year prior?
Yeah. No. The experience was uh, it was kind of it was a good experience, but a stressful one at the same time because I didn't know I wanted to go to college until my senior year. So
Mm-hmm.
like I had to get on it immediately, and so in terms of essays, I wrote them myself, and like as I was writing them, I was trying to edit it. I think one very big thing that like one recommendation, I guess you could say, is like ask for help. You know, go to your guidance counselor or go to someone that is a good writer. Because sometimes you're not a good writer, but you have good ideas in your mind that you can like put on paper. And if you just ask someone to help you out with like the essays, it can make a big difference. And just the whole application process, I was afraid that I was going to have to pay to apply to colleges,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like $50 an application.
Right.
And then I ended up finding out that I can get a waiver, application waiver, because I'm first gen,
Mm-hmm.
and that helped out a lot. Like I ended up applying to a lot more colleges, and I ended up applying here to William Mary because of the waiver. Because without it, I was thinking it was going easy, going like playing it safe, you
Right.
know. But knowing that it was free, I asked myself like, why not? It's free. You
Why
know,
not?
what can happen? So I ended up applying here because of why not, you know. And I
Mm-hmm.
ended up getting in. And in terms of FAFSA, I needed help with FAFSA because, you know, being a child of immigrant parents, they also, you know, they're immigrants. So
Right.
how like the way they had to fill out the tax forms and all of that was a little different than, you know, citizens here.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to reach out. We had to figure it out. I was out of state tuition for a little bit, and then we had to figure out how to put myself in state tuition because there's a big difference between out of state and in state. And
Yes.
and so they ended up helping me out, getting me in state tuition. And so William Mary is also like very kind because they're very generous with their money. They give out a good amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
So I found out that I was going here like without paying a single dollar, which is really good. It's really
Congrats
good.
on that, yeah.
Thank you. And which is the reason why I came here for the first place. Because honestly, we don't know much about college ourselves. So like, the one thing that matters the most is money.
Right.
Because as low income first gen, money is the biggest factor to everything. Growing up, money was the reason why you couldn't get this certain item or anything like that. So going to college is expensive anywhere,
Right.
and knowing that if you can't afford it, you can't go. Yeah, obviously there's just loans, but you're gonna get yourself in loans, and it's all gonna be downhill from there. Especially if you don't do well. So money is a big factor in college, and whether or not you can go. Thankfully, William Mary was really, really nice with it, and the process of just like submitting the application on time, the money, essays were also a thing. I think also like your clubs that you had in high school, like your achievements. Like I did a couple of sports. I was involved in beta and like all this other stuff. I think clubs is also a big deal that you have to like think about because besides a student, you wanna like know how you can benefit William Mary. I think that's a big thing that helped me get into William Mary was I was involved like in 8 clubs in high school, so I was always involved. So being involved in high school was a big thing. So I guess like like as a little advice to first gen students, get yourself active, be active. Don't just be a student, be more than a student. Join clubs, do bigger things. If you go get straight A's and go home afterwards, it's not as big as a deal as if you get straight A's while doing like beta or while playing in the soccer team or while wrestling. It's more than just your grades. It's more like what clubs you can join, how you can benefit colleges like William Mary and stuff.
Right. No, and I want to add on to that too. Like, very good point, but also you shouldn't really limit yourself to things that are in school, right?
Yeah.
So even outside of school, you could be volunteering for a,
Yeah.
a kitchen or whatever it may be, right? And even that shows your significance, shows you can also be of help, and like a good thing to the community at
Yeah.
Women Married too, because here it's all about volunteering. I mean, they have a food pantry, and they're asking for volunteers, right?
Yeah.
So things like that, yeah. Don't limit yourself to just in school things. Also, be involved outside.
Outside of school.
So
Most definitely.
yeah,
Just um
Also, too, I would say don't be afraid to take a risk in doing something that's out of the norm for you.
Yeah.
Because I really want to talk about myself, but like using myself as an example, I find myself just doing things that I'm comfortable with.
Yeah.
And that kind of limits me to other opportunities that can be very beneficial, especially like with meeting new people. That's kind of because you can always meet somebody who's doing something different that has the same interest that you're interested in at the same time. So doing something out of the norm is also as effective as just doing stuff like outside of school and just participating in clubs within school too.
right.
Yeah, just getting out of your comfort zone for the most part. Yeah, there's a lot of opportunities out there that you can grab. Just like as first generation, you don't know of these opportunities. You weren't raised with them. So if you ever hear of an opportunity, take it. Like I was also part of the youth group for my church. It's opened my eyes to like a lot of new like fundraising events and all that. And from there, like I ended up getting the scholarship through the church because of how much I helped them out. So like reaching out, if you find something interesting, just go for it. There's nothing that can stop you.
Because the worst thing that happens is they turn you down.
Yeah.
Or
Right.
you get a no. And if you get a no, do something else.
Something else.
There's
Yeah.
a lot of opportunities to go after because you don't think just because one said no or you got turned down by one, you can't do something else.
Yeah, like there's limitless opportunities out there for you.
It really is.
And actually, I mean, on that too, I mean, let's talk about confidence, bro. Like sitting here now, I mean, you're just radiating confidence. So
Thank you.
especially for FGLI students or anyone, they're not going to have as much confidence. They're not going to be able to take those risks.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you recommend to like boost their confidence? Like how did you
Yeah.
do it?
Confidence has a big deal with everything. I'm actually taking a confidence class right now.
Really?
It's really interesting. You talk about more like how scarcity has an impact on confidence, and like your system 1, system 2 thinking. You know, like if you can get out of your comfort zone, you're gonna feel less confident. But if you can like, you also have to like fake it until you make it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like sometimes you're unconfident about what you're doing, but if you tell people, "Oh yeah, I got it," it's gonna radiate. It's gonna boost everyone's confidence up, no matter
Mm-hmm.
what. You know, because they don't understand. Like they don't know. Like you feeling a little doubtful of yourself. They just know that you say you got it. So just confidence in general. Just like if you did well, praise yourself. Like give yourself like a pat on the back.
Mhm.
You know, be kind to yourself too at the times. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
if you didn't do well, just know it doesn't matter. You still got another opportunity. If you didn't do well in the midterm, okay, it's in the past.
Yeah.
Focus on the next midterm. So just focus on your confidence. Make sure like the little things in life doesn't bring you down because there's bigger things. There's always bigger things, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're having a bad day, sleep on it. Wake up the next day, do better. You know. So confidence is a big thing, and I think it's not well talked about confidence. As long as you fake it. Like sometimes in high school, I wouldn't feel that confident like going into like a class or something like that. But I always tell everyone like, oh yeah, I have it, I got it. You know, it's
Mhm.
easy. And also you gotta like know whether or not to be confident or get too cocky. You gotta have like this type of humbleness too to like where you're confident enough not to be cocky. You know, and I think confidence is a really big thing. You can fake it or you can have it. You know, some people just natural with
Mhm.
confidence, and yeah, that's it.
You?
You said natural confidence.
Yeah.
Both of you guys are naturally confident.
I I wouldn't say it's with certain things. It's like with things that I know I put in the time for it,
Yeah,
and I've probably done for like a long time, like playing sports or something
yeah,
like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's always gonna be a confidence thing in there because that's part of like growing up in an athletic
hmm
family, and then two, I've been doing it all my life.
yeah,
But it's like I said, coming here, I'm not so confident as I used to be no more.
yeah. I think confidence is also how you prepare yourself beforehand. Like confidence is like if you prepare yourself well, you're always gonna be confident. So
Right.
preparation before the big deal, you know, like so preparing yourself for the moment makes you a lot more confident. So if you're not well prepared, obviously you're not gonna be confident. So I think confidence, like growing confidence, also like preparing yourself. That's also like a big factor of it. If you're not prepared, if you push it aside all the time, you're not gonna be confident at the moment, and that's
Right.
ultimately gonna like mess you up in the long run. So preparation, having the good mindset, surrounding yourself with good people, um, just like only comparing yourself to yourself.
Hmm.
If
Mm-hmm.
you're better than yourself yesterday, then you can be more confident. You know, just try to look at you like the only challenge you have is yourself. There's no one else challenging you but you.
Yeah. Hear,
That's a
hear,
fact.
dude. Yeah.
But speaking on what you just say? You said something like, oh, preparation.
Preparation.
Say you prepare yourself to the fullest and you still get the results that you're not really looking for.
Yeah.
Because that's like a confidence.
Yeah. It's
Yeah, you boost your confidence up, but it's gonna boost your confidence down.
yeah.
It's like getting something a score where you feel like, dang, I studied for this, I prepared for this, or I was doing all uh, X, Y, and Z,
Yeah.
but at the same time,
It ended
I'm
up
getting
happening.
negative results.
Hmm
So, what's something that you can do after that?
I think, yeah, I can relate to that personally because I was preparing myself for this midterm coming up, and I was like taking hours a day, you know, studying, doing practice problems, going office hours. You feel good. You feel good when you go in there.
It's a great feeling.
And the moment the first question pops up, and you're like, "Damn, like
What I do?
what I do wrong?" You know. And then it ended up going well. You know, um, I think you gotta prepare yourself a certain way, and although what you can do is pat yourself on the back for putting in the hours, even if it didn't end up going your way, you still tried your best. That's what matters, you know. Like the end result really doesn't matter. It's like what you did, like the experience to get there, the journey to get there. You know, like even in like sports is a big thing. You know,
Mhm.
like I was in wrestling and like I like worked my butt off every day. Woke up in the morning, ran, worked out, practiced, and I ended up doing that well, and stuff like that. You just gotta prepare yourself a different way, or look at it from a different mindset. You know what I mean? Like the journey is what matters too. At the same time, the experiences that you make, preparing yourself. Like if you study with someone, like the bond that you created studying with them,
Yeah.
like this overall, like the journey is also a really important part. Like at the end of the day, yeah, obviously you want to do well
Hmm.
and you want to win, but if you make a good, if you get something out of it, something beneficial to you, like a good friendship or something like that, then that's what matters too. You know what I mean? Or go that different route. So like, don't let it get to your head. There's always another opportunity out there.
It's like taking the positive out
Yeah,
of the
taking the
negative.
positive out of the negative, no matter what. Always, what I do out of any negative situations, take at least one positive. If I didn't do well in the test, well, at least like I did well in this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At least I knew this. So just one positive out of the negative, it will make your mindset a lot stronger.
Because I feel like all it takes is one. And
All it takes is one.
to be honest, I feel like in society we need to do the reverse. Because you know how probably that one negative thing can outweigh the every positive thing you did done in life.
Yeah.
But if we kind of reverse those roles and say if we kind of had a lot of negatives, we just take that one positive and have that outweigh everything that went on in life, then our mindset and our confidence probably will increase and we can move forward in life instead of like worrying about what happened in the past. Because, like you say, the past in the past.
It's in the past.
You live and you learn. You got to get through it and it ain't going to come back. You just got to make the changes in your life that can help you not get those same results that you didn't got back then, that can see your life going, like progressing up instead of going down.
Like at the end of the day, you're still here.
Mm-hmm.
You still have the opportunity to do better.
Right.
So if you can take that one positive thing and grow on that, work on that, it's going to be a lot better than looking at the negatives and just staying down. Because once you look at the negatives, it's a domino effect.
Mm-hmm.
I did bad in this test. Oh, I'm bad in this class. Like maybe this isn't for me. Maybe this major isn't for me. Maybe college isn't for me. So it's like a domino effect of like, oh yeah, I did bad on this. So then it's going down. But if you look at the positive, like, oh, well, at least I got this one chapter down. Like, what if like this one chapter can lead into like a different chapter? It can all connect.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a domino effect in a negative way and a positive way. So if you take it in a positive way, domino effect is greater.
Yeah.
Well, beautifully said. Beautifully said. I think it's also very hard for people to even focus on that positive because like there's so many negative things happening to everyone.
It really is.
Like
Yeah.
you might be living your best life, but the next thing you know, I don't know, your girlfriend breaks up with you or something, right?
That just ruins your whole life.
Exactly. All those dominoes you stacked up, it
just falls down again.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, I think it's just like one thing everyone should like expect in life is, I think, have you guys seen No Way Home yet?
No Way Home. Spider-Man No Way Home? Oh, yeah.
No, I ain't watched it yet.
Okay.
Well,
I mean, you can go ahead and say it because I may not never watch it. I may watch it, but
No Way Home goes crazy. You gotta go watch it sometime.
Well, I am the type that even if I know what's going on, I still gonna watch it.
But it's not going to be a spoiler, I promise you that. But I think Zendaya in her role said something like that could relate to this. What she said was, expect disappointment and you'll never be disappointed.
Yeah.
So same thing with
like our mind said in Calculus last year, expect low, but we aim high.
Exactly. Like I think last year last semester, my bad, we both expected to get like 20s, 30s, 40s, right?
Yeah.
Next thing you know, we get the midterms back or the tests back, and we got like 70s, 80s.
Yeah.
So same thing here is just like expect to be disappointed. I mean, life has its ups and downs, but overall, you need to focus on that end goal. Because like life is just an hourglass, man. The sand is still pouring no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
You could be stuck in the past, but you're growing old by the day. So
yeah,
it's
life goes on.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day. Yeah, like you expect. You prepare yourself for disappointment, but you expect like successful things. If you prepare yourself for disappointment, it's a good thing because life is crazy. There's always things out there that is gonna change like this part of you, or life is unexpected in a way too.
Right.
Where, there's always gonna be something out there that's gonna try to bring you down. But if you can expect that, if you can add that to like your mindset, be like, okay, this is gonna happen. I just have to prepare for it. and from there just move on, improvise, do better. You know, so always like, yeah. There's some like days where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take my L.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well, you know.
Hmm.
There's gonna be L's in life, no matter what. You know,
Right.
you're always gonna have a loss, and if you can just if you can learn how to handle your losses well,
Hmm.
and learn how to like take your losses into a good way, then you'll do well in life.
Yeah.
We don't live in a perfect world.
Yeah, no,
So
it's
I
crazy
mean, if
out
the
there.
world was perfect, then we wouldn't have no problems. And
Mhm.
then it's like we're looking forward to all good things. I
Mhm.
feel like having those negative things, it teaches you to do better the next time, or it gives you like that mindset where you know it's like I don't ever want to get to this place again, or I don't ever want to be in this position again. So, like you say, take the L's. If the day ain't your day, it's not gonna always be your day. So I mean,
Yeah.
what about the next day? Because the next day can be your day.
Exactly. And if it's a perfect world, I mean, no one's gonna be different from one another. There's no
Exactly.
uniqueness.
Yeah, you got to be there to be different sometimes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, it's just. I guess we could start using movie quotes from now on to describe some of these things. But but I guess we can end this off with a question we ask usually everyone. So it's
Okay.
actually I think you worded a little better.
All right. So I mean, first and foremost, we appreciate you for coming on the show and like
Yeah, for sure.
speaking, like giving advice, giving tips and stuff like that, especially last minute too, because
Yeah, of course.
the reschedule was crazy. But if you can leave everybody out there watching like with just one message or just one tip of advice to kind of look forward to, especially like after what we done talked about today, but kind of like trying to generalize it a little bit, what's one main thing that you want the audience to really take away and grasp and kind of like always keep that mindset?
One thing I want to add to that, like maybe like a good rephrase to the question would be like, say you were to die in like the next few days, right?
Mhm.
That's a bit gloomy, but
Okay. Okay.
but what would
Yeah,
you
we're
leave?
not saying y'all gonna die.
No, no, we're
don't
not
think that.
dying.
But what would you leave the world with? One piece of advice.
One piece of advice, I think, like the biggest one. Uh, that's a good question. The one thing that's stuck in my mind right now is treat people with kindness.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like maybe we didn't talk about kindness a lot, but treat people with kindness can take you so many places. You know, by kindness, it's not just like being nice to them, but like being open, being having an open mind. So if you treat people with kindness, they can also treat you with kindness. So if you're out here treating people with kindness, it can open the world up to limitless things. So like the one thing, like my last word would be treat people with kindness, no matter what, no matter where they came from, no matter what they did. If you just treat everyone well.
Very well said. Well, thank you very much, Ronaldo,
No
for
problem.
taking the time out of your day to have this chat with us. Adrian's excited as always, but
Right, man.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me.
no,
It was
of
a good
course,
talk.
of course. Yeah, I mean, we were all just going with the flow, and that's
Go
what
with the
will
flow.
happen in future podcasts coming up. So be watchful for those. It'll be just like this with many more little tips and advice for you all to better your lives or even just make your life easier for you. So with that being said, if
I ain't really got much, man. Y'all know the vibes, man. We're gonna end it here. We're gonna wrap it up, man. See y'all later. Peace.
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 Good job.